Over the last few weeks, I've spoken to a bunch of people from all around the world, and they've all told me the same thing, that they're worried about one specific line on the P&L. It's not sales or payroll or profit, it's the expense line called subscriptions. And that's because right now, almost every organization adopting AI is booking it the same way, as a subscription, as an operating expense. That's a cost that hits the P&L every month and scales with usage. This is a variable cost that's growing faster than every other line of the P&L, even faster than sales. And that's what's keeping CFOs up at night. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between AI as an asset and AI as an expense, and why I believe that's becoming a lot more important in the next few months. Now, I've spent 30 years in corporate, and I've been through countless restructuring, turnaround, and cost savings projects. But I'm going to give you a little secret. One of the best ways to save money is to turn a variable cost into a fixed cost. Let me give you an example. Say your company is spending a fortune on freight and couriers sending work across the country. One way to reduce your costs is by looking at the most common routes and buy your own trucks. Turn some of that variable cost into a fixed cost. And for certain routes, the ones that you use all the time, turning that into a fixed cost means you know with certainty how much that work is going to cost. And that's because you own the assets that provide the service. And for the routes that don't make sense to scale, sure, keep that as a variable cost. And that brings me to agents and the escalating costs of tokens and subscriptions. But before I do that, let me start with what an AI agent actually is. Strip away the hype and the fear. It's just a worker that doesn't sleep and keeps working until the job is done. An agent itself has no value. The value is in the work that it does, which allows humans to do something faster and better. For example, a month-end close might take a finance team 10 or more days, but now that could be done in hours. And some people say, hey, great, I can get rid of all my accountants. A lot of people think the value of AI is in being able to fire people, but that's missing the point. The real value here is that the numbers are available 10 days earlier, which means you've got almost a half more month to react to that information. Those accountants that you've employed don't want to be doing hack work. They want to be using their brains to solve business problems. So the real value of the agents, or whatever you want to call them, is the decision velocity, being able to make better decisions faster. The agent is just the mechanism. But, and this is really important, agents only make sense if you know exactly what the outcome costs. If it costs you just as much or more, then there's no point having an agent. So let's talk about what you're actually paying for. When the board approves a project to deploy an AI agent, they're approving a license fee or a subscription. But that's not the real number. The real number is the token costs, because you pay for these by volume, not by value. Somebody will come in and build your solution, and that's when the meter starts running. But the problem is the meter is a function of your own success, and because it's a variable cost, it will scale with usage. There is no point at which the marginal cost gets cheaper to you. You've signed up for a cost line that grows precisely as things go well. So a cloud AI agent is a rental. You're renting your intelligence by the token, which is convenient, it's off, but you pay for it every month. And the more you pay, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the more you pay. And at the end, you end up owning nothing. So based on what I said earlier, I believe if you want to fix that, the best way is to convert some of that variable cost into a fixed cost. And that means you need an on-premise AI solution, something that you own, not rent. You're going to want to find the high-value routine analytics which represents the highest value and turn that into a fixed cost, which means you're going to want a capital asset that sits on your balance sheet and provides value no matter how many questions you ask it. You want the marginal query cost to be effectively free, because the asset gets cheaper the more you use it, and that creates operating leverage. But up until now, that hasn't really been an option. But now, thanks to Apple's M-series chips and open source software, you can do just that. You can get your own AI model running locally for a fixed cost. That means instead of renting and paying more to use it, you own your intelligence and you can work out how best to optimize it. So in my view, AI is great, but you've got to know what you're using AI to solve for, and you've got to be very clear about how much it's going to cost. To make AI useful inside a business, it can't be an expense, it must be an asset. I'm Dr. Errol Brandt, the founder of Kiraa. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I encourage you to put your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.